So hi everybody, welcome back. James and I are talking today about COVID and its impact on hotel technology. The question is, we've opened the door and we now enter the room. Obviously the first thing we would normally do is turn on the light switch, unless you've got an energy management solution and the lights would come on automatically. But what are our options with a light switch, James?
Okay, so in our post-COVID-19 world, we're going to need to be looking at different smart features in the room, and one of those is going to be smart lighting. Now, as I often say, there's nothing as simple as a rocker switch on the wall for switching a light on and off. It's very simple and everybody's familiar with it. However, rocker switches are an issue for harboring viruses, bacteria, microbes and things. I'm not a scientist, but you can see that there is, gaps inside where they are heavily contacted and things may survive in there. So that's something we need to avoid. So we need to look at a smart solution that offers different options to suit the different type of guest. So guests have different preferences based on, their style, their generation, where they've traveled from. They have different ways they want to control things in the room and throughout the hotel. Yep. So it's going to be very key that we look at the integration that's offered throughout the hotel and throughout the different systems in the hotel when it comes to smart features and specifically smart lighting. So in a new build hotel, you'd be thinking about switches on the wall still that have a glass flat panel surface. Yep. These can be easily cleaned. They have no gaps or recesses or niches in that allow bacteria to be harbored. Yep. And you can make an easy clean through housekeeping, and they can be visually inspected to see that, it looks clean. While this isn't necessarily an indicator that it's sanitary, if you like, perfectly sanitized, you do at least have the visual inspection. Of course, the next level of this is they're easy to provide a pack of alcohol wipes next to, something we'll be talking about a lot, for guests to be able to clean the switches themselves, which is, I think, more of a personal reassurance thing rather than needing to clean them, but it's something I would appreciate. This means the guests, before they touch it, can clean it with a 65%, 70% alcohol solution themselves. But finally, I touched on integration, and integration here will be key. These switches will obviously have touch-sensitive buttons that allow you to switch them on and off, but the integration using service bus architecture, which is something we'll talk about even more, I think, you can allow them to be controlled by different systems outside of the room on the guest's own device, or maybe through voice control, or maybe through a tablet in the room, or maybe through the TV, which I know those last two options provide other challenges, which we'll come on to. But really looking at integrating these systems together will be the answer. Now, this is very easily done in a new build hotel. There are other challenges when we're considering retrofitting a hotel. When you're retrofitting, I think you still need to consider the flat panel switches with the alcohol wipes. This is the number one, because while we're both big fans of technology, me and you, Brendon, we know that technology will never 100% replace good cleaning practices, and we need to make sure the technology that's deployed is the easiest to clean as possible. So those integratable flat panel glass surface switches that can be wiped down are going to be the number one on the list.
Perfect. So just summing that light switches up, James, obviously in a standard hotel with a rocker switch, good cleaning practices are critical to give the guest a level of comfort, provide them with alcohol wipes that they can actually clean down. If you're building from scratch or doing a refurbishment, you can look at a glass panel, which is easy to keep clean, and then look at some form of integration that would either allow the guest to control the lighting via their own device, via the in-room tablet, via voice, or potentially on the TV. And we'll talk about some of those other things, other technologies as we move on. That's great, James. Thanks. We will pick up our conversation for our listeners. and talk more about technology in a post-COVID world.
Excellent. Thanks, Brendon. Great talking.